So what I'd like to do tonight is do some education on the reports that the board should be familiar with. The first is the review of minutes from October 9th. Unfortunately, I don't have minutes from October 9th. Okay. The claim auditor reports, those were included with the Board of Education agenda. I would like the claims auditor to come to the next audit committee, whether it be January or February, so that way you can be introduced to the claims auditor. And I'd also like her to describe her role because she acts on behalf of the Board of Education and what she looks for. Okay? I have asked her to do a few different things and report differently. I was surprised to find out that the district just pays bills without a claim form or a purchase order. And I instructed accounts payable to discontinue that practice. Everything should have a purchase order. Otherwise, we do not know what is committed, what funds are committed on behalf of the district. So that is already a change that has been implemented. Okay? So if you look on her report, she'll say new practice by the interim purchasing agent implemented. She'll have some comments on the report. And there should be comments because there really should be no obligations on behalf of the district without a purchasing agent's approval via a purchase order. So we are working hard to get that straightened out. Okay. What you have in your packet, the first document, is the revenue status report. And it says from 7/1/24 to 6/30/25. This is your revenue budget in the first column for the 24-25 fiscal year. And you'll see in the revenue earned column, there's my chicken scratch. Okay? What I've done is gone through the revenue earned and made projections on what I feel the district will receive as of June 30th. Why am I doing this? Because this is the first step to get an accurate fund balance. Fund balance projections should begin in November, December of that fiscal year. Why November, December? If you turn the page, turn 2 pages, or to the last, yes, there's a state aid report. There's a spreadsheet that says category, Voorheesville budget, output report. So even though in the spring the governor said you will receive $9 million some odd dollars, that is not verified until all the claim forms that were submitted in September are verified and clean. The state released the output reports in late November. I did the spreadsheet which compared the output report to what the district budgeted. And I will keep track of this every month, so that way we have a very good idea of what our fund balance projection for revenues will be. You can see that right now we're 69,000 plus for state aid revenues. Okay? So if you go back to that first page that has my chicken scratch, okay, you can see that I've done my own projections. How confident do I feel with those projections? Very confident, because I've gone back and looked at the last 3 years of your revenues for each line. So as of right now, at the very bottom, I'm projecting the revenues received as of 12/24 will be just a little over 31 million. Again, it's December. Lots can happen in the next month. Okay? Does anyone have a question about this? Okay? Understand? Does everyone understand why this is important to monitor? Good. Okay. So that's your revenue status report. That should be part of your treasurer's report every month, and we'll work to get there. The second is the tax collection report, of which you will vote on. That's tonight. That's the second sheet. And it's also included in your board docs. So we did very well with the collection. Much better than that. And the third, as I've already mentioned, is the state aid analysis, the 24-25 state aid analysis. I will do this spreadsheet every month to keep track of where we are. Okay? It also is a great tool for 25, 26 to project revenues. Okay? Questions, comments, concerns? All right. So let's go to the other side of the budget, the appropriation side, and that's what this next document is. It has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 line items on the front. Everybody is with me? Okay. What is this? The very first page is a negative balance report. What's a negative balance? A negative balance occurs when we spend too much money in the budget code. Or we spend money and there was no budget to begin with. Or we miscoded items. Okay? So I give you this as a teaching tool. You can see the very first negative balance involves extra pay for overtime. If you look in the first column that says adjusted budget, there's no budget for that. So I will work with payroll to find out who we paid out of that code and recode them. Same thing for the next two items. The 2810-150, the guidance. You can see there's significant negative balances at the end. Well, you know what? We might be taking somebody out of the wrong budget code. But I will work with payroll to rectify that. And the fourth, unemployment insurance, again, you can see there's no budget, but we made an expense. And the last one, statutory bonds principal, we've already expensed that for the year. We had a budget, but it created a negative. That is because more was budgeted under interest for the bonds than the principal. So that will be rectified with a budget transfer. Okay? This is nothing to be worried about, but these are things that I look at to make sure where our budgeting practices are where they should be. And it also helps me to determine and define the 25, 26 budget.
Lisa's also, as I mentioned to the board, Lisa's also utilizing Envision a lot more than what has been utilized in the past. So Envision is a tool that we're using, and we've added a couple more areas into Envision that we can start looking at utilizing to be able to help us function on those levels. So that's why you're seeing some of this as well. So I just want to clarify that. It's her looking deeply into it, but also the whole business office utilizing Envision in different ways than utilized in the past.
And they're very receptive to doing things electronically versus paper and utilizing the software how it should be utilized. So I have to give them kudos. They're very receptive. Okay. of $259,000. What is that? That are your, those are your carryover encumbrances, purchase orders from the prior year that got moved over. So those two columns, the budget plus the adjustments, equals the adjusted budget. Your expenditure column is what we spent as of today. Your encumbered column are the purchase orders that have been written as of today. The last column is available. Now that is not correct. Why isn't it correct? Because we are learning in the business office how to process purchase orders. For example, if you look at that last budget code, A9950.9, interfund transfer to capital fund, you see there's a budget, but nothing has been expensed yet. Well, we're going to expense that 3.1 million, right? Yes, we are. Should it be expensed, right? It should be both. It should be encumbered through a purchase order to the capital fund. Okay? So this is for your perusal. Again, you should receive this as part of the treasurer's report every month, and we're working to get there. Questions? I found it, and I think I can do the same thing through Envision.
Yeah, I think that would help, because this is a lot to digest.
It's a lot, and I did this for a reason. It's a lot to digest, but this is the budget that the voters voted on and approved, and they should know how their money is.
Oh, for transparency purposes?
For transparency purposes, and you should be able to say, what is this, what is that? You know, why is there a negative in guidance? What's going on there? And I should be able to respond to you, this is the problem. So for transparency, you will get information, and I will be happy to find that report and provide it.
It'd be useful for me, I don't want to speak for everybody, that would be helpful.
I believe the 24-25 profit and loss was included in the board documents. No, it should be online. I don't. No. It's not there.
You're going to the lunch?
Yes.
Yeah, no, sorry.
No. Okay.
No.
Where we are.
Yes, I'm sorry. So let's do a quick synopsis. So the school lunch fund operates independently of the general fund up to a very small point. The school lunch fund operates for profit. It should have a fund balance. Its fund balance is restricted to 3 months of expenditures. Anything over that, the state will make a comment and ask you for a plan on how to spend the overage. Okay? So what the district treasurer does every month is creates a profit and loss statement. It compares the prior year to the current year actual and discloses variances. It does that for revenues and expenditures. And just like the general fund, in order to determine fund balance, you take your grand total fund balance, you add your revenues, you subtract your expenditures, and then you get an ending fund balance.
So, Lisa and I have been meeting with our financial advisors. We have utilized fiscal advisors in the past. We went through some conversations with VP Donovan, contract on for tonight. VP Donovan, that is correct. VP Donovan. I want to make sure I say it correctly. They can help us oversight our financial components. Jim did a lot of our financial planning throughout the district. That was one of his major skill sets. Not all systems depend on the financial planning, typically it's done through system advisors or VP Donovan, those are two bigger components in the area. With the passing of Jim, we've seen the need to really utilize our financial planners in a different way than we have in the past few years. And that's why we're looking towards doing it. And so they can also help with not only our capital projects, they can look at our debt services, understand our expenditures, next project, give the most gain ratio back on those projects, along with helping us with those things yearly, our audits yearly, and making sure that we have a long-term 5-year plan that they can show typically in January as we start our budget process. So I think this is a nice step forward for us to move forward with. But we had some very in-depth conversations. I looked at what VP Donovan can offer us, and it's in depth, easy to understand, because that's one of the things is I need it in a way that for us to be able to utilize it and do all of our plans. Lisa, did I miss anything? Any questions? And they can also maximize our investment. So not only looking at our long-range plan, but they can make sure that we're optimizing.
And although it's not required, the state highly encourages districts to have a long-range financial plan. The status of borrowing. So as you're aware, the voters approved years ago, $25.2 million project. The first debt that was issued is a bond anticipation note. Notes are 1 year or less. They can be renewed or they can be converted into a long-term financing. So the note was dated 7/10/24. It will be due next July, which means in the 25-26 budget, you will see an interest payment close to $600,000. Okay, so here's your heads up for your budget in 25-26. It will already go up by $600 approximately for the interest payment on that note. Now, why is this important? It's important because the district needs to submit the required paperwork so we can start getting aid generated on these projects to pay for the interest expense. So it's covered by aid, not other revenues in the form of taxes. Okay, so if we did nothing right now, our budget's already going up. We have $8.2 million left to borrow, and we are following up on the borrowing and the lease for the EPC. Oh.
Lonnie, can you please stop the recording?